But
yeah.
Either way, next game is going to be Shakira's Plateau, and get these guys ready to go, basically.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. And we got some good aggression initially by Cytoplasm. He played defensively, but then was able to transition into what we all called, for a good reason, honestly, a risky initial engagement there with the slow banelings moving across the map. But as it turned out, he did engage very well. He was able to trade baneling for baneling in a positive ratio for him, and then was able to crash in and do some real damage, getting past into the main with them as well, which was potentially disastrous there for Red. Did do some damage. The follow-up is what was actually worse. A single baneling detonation into that natural line, and then a Ling run by killed everything because they were so low health. It just, at that point, just did not matter. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and it's my pleasure to bring you Cytoplasm. He is in the purple trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southwest of this particular map, the Shakira's Plateau, versus his opponent, LiquidRet. He is on the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northeast.
And this is a lot more of a defensive map. Because of the way that the natural is situated, you can use Evolution Tamer Spine Crawlers to kind of make the choke point even narrower than it actually is. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see Hatchery first here is very standard, but equally, even though we have Overlords in production, Hatchery first is that common here that sometimes we even see spawner pools come out relatively early to actually counter that.
Yeah, it's a possibility, certainly. ZVZ is such a volatile matchup. It's so knife-edge. I'm certainly liking it. I think that it's a more entertaining matchup than PvP at the moment. I still think TVT is the best mirror at this point, unless, of course, you really, really hate long games. But, yeah, it's certainly an intriguing one, and we'll see how this one goes coming up to this particular point. And they haven't shown their hands just yet. The question is, what will they decide to do? We'll find out once it hits 200 minerals.
The thing is, if you go Hatchery first, is like you lose map control, which is why we saw Ret go Spawner Pool, then Extractor. But it's a better build overall to go Hatchery first, because you can get speed after. And it looks like both these players are actually going to go Hatchery first once again. So when you go Hatchery first like this, it really does go into a macro game until the mid-stage of the game. There's no aggression early. You drone hard. I'm probably expecting both players to throw down a Spine Crawler anyway, and then continue with it. Usually you might not even see baneling aggression as well. Because it's that late of an Extractor and gas income, it's usually just straight into roaches, and especially on a map like this, which is so small and defensive.
Yeah, and eventually, in about 5,000 years, when this Overlord decides to get its arse in gear and over the other side of the map, Ret will discover exactly what's going on. And on the same token, Cytoplasms will be equally lazy.
Indeed. And look at this, Cytoplasm getting a bit of an advantage, getting a bit of a later spawning pulse. Is going to squeeze in an extra drone here and there. As you can see, 17 versus 16. And to be honest, every little bit in this matchup, in every single matchup, makes a difference for sure. And Overlord is in production now. Gas just starting for Cytoplasm, so Ret will have speed out first, which means he will be able to control the map, the Zalnaga towers. So in terms of aggression, it's always going to be Ret the one to bail out the aggression usually, simply because he's the one that sees all the map and can prevent the map from being seen by Cytoplasm, which leaves minimal reaction time.
Yeah, let's see what Cytoplasm decides to do here from there. It's going to be a double queen approach from Ret immediately, and a double queen, of course, from Cytoplasm as well. Ret electing to skip 6 Zerglings, and Cytoplasm actually going for 6 himself. So he'll be able to take the initial map control.
Yeah, I mean, you don't actually need to build Zerglings straight away.
No.
You can actually just go ahead and be like, all right, whatever, you know, I'll get 2 more drones while you build 6 Zerglings. And then I'm the one that can have the better economy. So he will build Zerglings afterwards, but the travel distance is basically what Ret's taken in consideration. And he'll have Zerglings out in time for sure. Bailey Nest has been thrown down for Cytoplasm, but defensive Bailey Nest across with the Spine Crawler as well.
Yeah, and I would think that by the time Cytoplasm, if he does decide to go once again for that slow bending aggression across the map, by the time that lands, there will be a defensive bending or 2 available. We'll see what kind of damage can really be done. Cytoplasm's going to have a poke and see what he can do. Try and catch the queen out, and shouldn't be able to do that. There's already 4 Lings there to prevent that from happening. Cytoplasm is leaving rapidly. And we'll see if the speed makes any difference. More to the point, will Ret decide to get aggressive? It doesn't look like it at the moment. He's building the bare minimum amount required in order to just hold this.
Yeah, he should throw down the Roach farm very, very shortly here. If he doesn't want to use Roaches and wants to go fast layer, this is the sort of the time we can start getting other Extractors as well. Because early aggression has pretty much been nullified. And any kind of timing to come out from this is not as strong as it would be earlier on, of course, because obviously the player is going to have more stuff. And there are defensive Bailings being morphed out now. Actually, no defensive Bailings. Aggressive Bailings immediately picked up here by Ret, but Good detonation there.
Yeah, it's good trade. 4 Zerglings for single Baneling is good. There is another Baneling coming in. It could get target fired down by the Spine Crawler here, honestly. That's what I'm concerned about. And that's exactly what he goes for. Ah, there it goes. Doesn't take out on the cocoons, unfortunately. That's not going to happen. Yeah, if he'd had one more Baneling, that could have been really messy.
Yeah, we do have 10 lings in the making now. There's the layer for Ret, so looks like Ret's the one going to be probably playing Mutalisk here. You can start taking the other extractors. Maybe might want to just get a second Spine Crawler if he wants to be ultra safe, but you can cut corners if you play like Ret, of course. Meanwhile, Cytoplasm hasn't really shown any signs of doing anything right now. Is making lings and so on. Builds a second Pioneer Spell. Okay, so Cytoplasm's going to go straight up for layer as well. Very, very shortly. Getting all the extractors, but Ret goes in and scouts everything.
Yep, he gets some good information, and while he doesn't want to go too close because of the threat of those Banelings, one's actually picked off quite nicely there by Ret. Good little bit of target fire micro with the single. He wants to take out the second one before it hits that. If he can, then he can do some good damage here. Oh, this is dicey right here for both players. That single Baneling is looking to end its life in the most messy way imaginable. Cytoplasm's been able to drive Ret out there, though, without wasting it.
But Cytoplasm didn't go layer. He's like so far behind. He didn't start it. I don't know what he's trying to do here. Like 4 gases, no layers, like what?
That doesn't really make a huge amount of sense. No, what are you going to spend the gas on?
Unless he just wants to go mass Banelings. It doesn't make any sense,
he could be. Yeah.
There is the layer going down now as well, but Ret is so far ahead. The Spire's already down, and basically when you're this far ahead, you basically can't fight Muta versus Muta. If you're 2 Mutas behind the entire game, you can't fight. You actually can't fight. So he'll have to go for something else. There's no way he can do anything here.
Yeah, he's started his lair, but as I said, it's so far behind, and the Spire's going to get up incredibly rapidly. And then what do you do? Cytoplasm's really got to just, I suppose, go Hydra or something along those lines, but it doesn't sound like a particularly good idea.
I mean, what you can do is build Corruptors, because Corruptors beat Mules pretty bad. But at the same time, that allows Ret to tech switch out, and you're left with a bunch of Corruptors you can't do anything
well, that
with,
and the fact that he's so far behind that by the time the Corruptors start to build, the Mutas are already in your base.
Yeah, so this Spire is he's gonna be able to morph about 6 Mulas with +1 as well. So that's a decent amount to start picking off Overlords, harassing. But I do like this really fast third base from Cytoplasm. A great reaction to being a little bit behind. He's going to have the gas to kind of overtake a little bit in the Mulas production if he wants to go into that. But he's now at layer, and there goes the Spire. But see how far it's behind? Mulas are in production, whereas the Spire's only just gone down.
Yeah, that's the really dodgy thing about it, isn't it? Ret looking to get a good Baneling detonation. You also notice that Ret did throw down a base slightly later than that, but also threw down a macro hatchery, and that's something that his opponent does not possess, so that will help him out just a little bit. And now Ret just pushing his opponent all the way back across the map into his own half, and Baneling's moving in to try and get a good splash, but needless to say, Cytoplasm shouldn't really lose control and allow it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, basically Ret's trying to clear up all the Zerglings so he can deny the third base. It's just kind of hard to do so. And it trades off an equal war. But Mulas are out, man. They're out, they're harassing, they're killing stuff.
Yeah, and what do you do?
I mean, Overlords are going to die. It means he's going to get supply blocked. He has to start building a bunch of Overlords. It's a hard fight from here on out. Though, saying that, look at all the gas that Cytoplasm actually banked up. He's at 1,300 right now. So he can actually morph over the amount.
And then take control,
because he had a faster third base. He's got the gases faster on that third base.
Yeah, so all he has to do is basically live, transfuse, he didn't have the energy to transfuse, never mind, that's another queen picked up. And it comes down to how much damage can Ret do to his opponent before he's able to pop out 5,000 Mutalisks, so in this case 12.
He doesn't actually have enough minerals to actually build the other 7 or
exactly,
whatever. So.
He's still got the gas going in right there. I'm surprised he actually hasn't thrown it to +1 or whatever. But
there was a bit of an engagement on Ret's third too, shut down by Ret though. But Ret needs to take his 5th and 6th gas. It's like really bad he hasn't done that right now, because the Mulas count is all of a sudden going to slide out of his favor.
Yeah, he's got 12 on the field at the minute. There's now 12 Mutas up for Cytoplasm as well. And, of course, Rets have taken some damage, so Cytoplasm should win here, especially with Queen support. And the Mutalisk count is actually going to be very, very close. In fact, Ret will have the very slight lead by, I think, 1 Muta, and +1's about to finish as well.
Yeah, I'm still surprised. Why hasn't Rhett taken the gases on this third base? It's not like Rhett to make these mistakes. If he wants to keep muta production up high, he needs the gases. Granted, he's spending a lot of minerals in drones right now. 65 drones. Oh my god. And there go the double gases now. So he will be able to start very, very shortly. But the thing is that Rhett is 3 meters behind, but he's +1 ahead in terms of upgrades.
Just to point out something, and that was the fact that the third just got its mineral line gutted. Look at the number of workers killed. 33. Yeah, pretty massive. That was mostly a Ling run by with muta support. That's put Cytoplasm so ridiculously far behind.
35 to 65.
Yeah, that's brutal. And Rhett also has the higher muta count right now, which has put Cytoplasm in a really difficult position. And
Cytoplasm's got 900 gas he can't spend on mutas because he doesn't have the minerals.
He can't mine it. It's as simple as that. And
oh no. This third base from Rhett is going to be taken down here. Great move by Cytoplasm. Unfortunately for Rhett, that's going to hurt a lot as well.
Yes, it will. And even if you can't kill the drones, you stop them from mining, so they might as well be dead anyway for a while.
Oh no, Rhett has the first wave of damage coming out from his mutas. In this muta versus muta, you cannot spread up. Because of the splash damage that mutas do, you cannot do that, but Rhett is doing so much damage.
+1 is in effect, and Cytoplasm doesn't have it at all. And that's
a 24 versus 12 TotalBiscuit.
Oh man, it's going down to 11. How do you stop that? I think at this point you really can't. If there was any time for a GG, I suppose Cytoplasm should do it right now.
He's lost his third base as well. So,
yeah, of course.
You know, this is the time where it's like,
GG, there we go. More appropriate GG timing, I think, from Cytoplasm this time around, and Rhett was able to clean that up quite nicely.
Indeed he was, and great play by Rhett, getting that more important ZVZ group first win, because this is only Zerg versus Zerg. His debut turned up late here, unfortunately.
Yep.
And so Cytoplasm now 1-1 within his group. He beat Debut. He also now lost versus Rhett. Rhett is currently 1-0 up, has to play Debut now, so if Rhett wins, Debut is out of the tournament, Rhett and Cytoplasm go through.
Yes, indeed. And what kind of time are we looking at for that game? Because I think we finished that one quite early.
Well, we're not casting that game, actually, so the next game we're actually going to be doing is Todd versus Moman.
Oh, God, that's going to be good.
French rivalry.
Definitely.
Starting in 25 minutes, so 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, 20 minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye on this one. And remember, the other streams, go and have a look on TeamLiquid.net. If they're casting something, flick between the two. I believe actually someone posted something awesome on Reddit where you can watch all three at the same time. So
there you go.
There you go. If you're looking for plenty of StarCraft action, that's the way to do it. And I believe T-Vox as well will allow you to multi-box all of those streams. So go check him out. Tastosis on one stream, Day9 and Mr. Bitter on another, and of course TotalBiscuit and Diapollo on this one. We'll be back in about 20 minutes for a match I'm really looking forward to. Moman, ever the entertaining, versus the French monster Todd.